She thought she had caught him red-handed, stealing, breaking in, doing something unforgivable. But when the billionaire CEO stepped into that dark hallway and saw the single dad janitor on his knees, trembling, doing the unthinkable, she realized she had never been more wrong about anyone in her entire life. If she had been just 10 seconds earlier, she would have ruined a man's entire life. If she had been 10 seconds later, she never would have known the truth that would rewrite her own. The story begins in the towering glass headquarters of Hawthorne Innovations, owned by the infamous billionaire, Ilara Hawthorne, young, brilliant, feared, and constantly on edge from the weight of her empire. Every night she walked the top floors alone before leaving, checking every detail, pushing herself harder than anyone else ever could. Down below, in the silent corners, people rarely looked twice at Daniel Cross, a single father and night janitor, moved through his shift with quiet determination. His life revolved around two things: keeping a roof over his 7-year-old daughter Lily's head, and keeping a promise to his late wife that Lily would always feel safe. It was past midnight when Ilara returned to the building unexpectedly after a failed investor meeting. As she stepped out of the elevator on the 28th floor, the executive wing, she heard shuffling noises she shouldn't have heard at that hour. Her security team wasn't with her. There weren't supposed to be cleaners on this level tonight. Her first thought was simple and sharp: someone was stealing. And she was about to catch them. She moved quietly, heels in her hand, heart pounding with the adrenaline of someone who had everything to lose. She followed the sound to her private research corridor, a place with restricted access and million-dollar prototypes. As she turned the corner, the sight froze her. Daniel, the janitor she barely knew existed, was on his knees inside her locked lab, holding something in his shaking hands. The dim light flickered over him as if hiding a crime. Ilara stepped forward, cold fury rising. "What do you think you're doing?" Daniel jerked, startled, and nearly dropped what he was holding. His eyes filled with fear, not guilt, not shame, but something deeper, more desperate. "This isn't what it looks like," he whispered, voice breaking. Ilara's mind raced. If he stole anything, even a component, it could cost millions. Her tone was razor-sharp. "Explain. Now." But Daniel wasn't looking at her. He wasn't defending himself. He wasn't even thinking about the consequences. He was staring at the small device in his hand, a compact medical prototype she had secretly been developing to detect early cardiac issues. It wasn't even announced to the board yet. Daniel's voice cracked. "My daughter, she collapsed at home tonight. I tried everything. The hospitals wouldn't run the tests without money up front. I didn't know what else to do. I remembered this device from the team meeting last week. I thought maybe it could tell me what's wrong. I'm begging you. Don't call security. Please just help her." Ilara felt her anger crumble. This wasn't a thief, this was a terrified father trying to save his child, but her own rules were clear: unauthorized access was grounds for immediate termination and potential arrest. Her entire reputation was built on discipline and boundaries. Still, something in Daniel's eyes hid a part of her she had buried long ago. A part that remembered cold hospital rooms. A part that remembered losing her own mother too soon. She exhaled slowly. "Where is she now?" "Home. I left her with the neighbor. I just needed answers." Ilara made a decision that would change both their lives to get the prototype. "Follow me. We're going to your daughter." Daniel blinked, stunned, as if he'd never expected mercy. That night, the billionaire and the janitor raced through the empty city, toward the life of a little girl who had no idea how close she had come to losing everything. And as Ilara examined Lily herself, using the device she had created to save others, she realized the child wasn't just sick, she had a silent heart condition identical to the one that had taken Ilara's mother. It wasn't theft, it was fate. Lily was rushed to the hospital through Ilara's private contacts, bypassing wait times Daniel could never afford. For the first time in years, Ilara stayed the whole night with someone. She sat beside Daniel in the cold waiting room, watching this quiet, exhausted man break apart and hold himself together for his daughter over and over. In the early hours, the cardiologist entered with heavy news. "She needs surgery. Soon. Without it, she might not make it." Daniel closed his eyes, jaw trembling. "I don't have insurance. I don't have the money." Ilara turned to the doctor. "She'll have everything she needs. Put it under my name. Daniel's head snapped toward her, disbelief softening into tears. Why are you doing this? Ilara swallowed. She had spent her whole life building walls, hiding her pain behind power, wealth, and a reputation of cold perfection. She rarely helped people personally. But Lily reminded her of herself, a child caught in the crossfire of life's cruelty, holding on through sheer hope. Because no child should suffer because the world is unfair, she murmured. And no father should have to break the rules to save his family. Lily's surgery was scheduled for the next day. Daniel never left her side. Ilara never left his. Hours passed like years, but the operation was successful. When Lily finally opened her eyes and weakly smiled at her father, Daniel broke down completely, his head pressed to her hand. Ilara looked away, not out of discomfort, but because the moment was too pure, too real. After the surgery, Ilara met with Daniel outside the room. He was still shaken, still processing everything. I don't know how to repay you, he whispered, but Ilara shook her head. You already have. He frowned, confused. She continued, in all my years of building this company, I forgot what it means to protect someone, really protect someone. Watching you reminded me why I created things like that prototype in the first place. Daniel stepped closer, voice low and full of sincerity. You didn't catch a criminal that night. You caught a father trying to save his child. Ilara smiled for the first time in months, a real smile, one that softened something hardened in her. I know, she said.